next year.
Boom, we are live, folks. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am Pruitt. Welcome to the weekly smartphone photographers community hangout on air that we like to call affectionately Point and Shoot. This is the weekly podcast or hangout on air that you want to, whatever you want to call it, where we sit and discuss tips and tricks on how to become a better smartphone photographer. Because believe it or not, the cell phones you walk around with in your pockets, the whoa crap, I got an echo in my ear. I don't want that. Sorry. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Anyway, besides all of that,
Always.
we like to share some tips and tricks to make you a little bit better, as well as go over some resources we may have found, app picks, and things of that nature, and take a look at our weekly photography challenge that's put together by different members of the community. And tonight we have three members from the community joining us, and we will start ladies first with Miss Laura Palmer Basindi.
Hello.
How goes it?
It was well.
It's much better considering you're not lagging this week.
I know. I don't know what happened. That was so weird. I made no change. It must have been Google because I nothing changed on my side, and I have FiOS, so it's usually pretty fast.
Right. And I shouldn't have said anything as a nice big thunderclap just happened behind me outside here. Sorry.
Better you
My
than
bad.
me.
My bad. Appreciate you coming out, Deborah. Next up, my man Michael King. What's happening?
Well, in the process of building an ark. 'Cause, I mean, we've been belly aching about rain, and we've been building it for some time. Well, we've had 18 inches of rain, and we expect another 10 to 20 by Saturday.
Serves you right.
So, needless to say, I haven't been out of the house. Today was nice and sunny, but I've been taking care of claims, so I haven't had a chance to take pictures or anything. So, I have been slacking because of work.
Well, since you weren't able to take pictures, we just suspect some feedback from you tonight. How about that?
Okay,
Deal?
no problem.
All right. Appreciate you coming out as always. And lastly, Mr. Robert Knight. What's happening?
I got a working phone.
No, you don't. That ain't even your phone, and you know it.
At least it is working.
I mean, how you gonna be in the smartphone photographers community with a dead phone for like a week and a
uh,
Da, 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 da,
um, but at least everything's working again, and I'm already eyeing what my next phone will be.
half? Oh, what are you thinking about?
That Oppo in that OnePlus One,
Oh, the One Plus One. Okay.
looking really, really good.
Yeah, and it's only like $300 unlocked, right?
349, 64 gigabyte.
Yeah,
Not
can't
bad.
hurt. Can't hurt at all. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it here. I am going to pull up our first. We'll go through the contest for the week, and it was put together by damn, I don't forgot who wanted it. Was it Fenderly? Yeah, it was Mr. Fenderly. Um, he decided on going on something that's airborne, as he titles it. Anything airborne. Uh, that could have been anything from an airplane, a balloon, a bird, and even in some instances we've seen it as people. So he wanted us to get creative, and we got a few creative shots in here. I'll take a pick of a few highlights here. First, I want to go over to our Google Glass shot. Let me share that. What if I just did recursion?
Yo!
That would hurt. Here, let's try that again. This is gonna be my night of technical difficulties. Good gosh. All right, that better, y'all. Jeez. There. All right. So now we got a guy in here, Michael Derwin. He had Google Glass, and I mean it's not a spectacular shot or anything like that, but it's nice to see that the thing does take pretty good pictures. Straight from his eyeball, uh, 30,000 feet in the air. I just wanted to give him a
Uh,
little shout
yeah, I
out
like
on
the
that.
I like the clouds. Seeing the clouds from above instead of
Yeah.
underneath them.
Yeah. Looks like a pillow stuffing. All right. So we'll go through here and highlight a few. I know Mr. Robert.
Go back to that. Go back to that shot. Um, I've looked at this shot, and one thing I can say with whatever they have put into Google Glass, considering the size of the lens that has to be on that thing for it to, look okay on your face,
Right.
it
Right.
takes a pretty doggone good picture.
Yeah, it does.
I'm very,
All things
I'm
considered.
impressed with it. I'm very impressed with the pic. Everything I've seen pictures wise from Google Glass actually looks pretty decent.
Which makes me wonder, I haven't seen specs on it to see what's in the camera itself, but why is it that Google Glass can take what I consider for its size and not being as complex as maybe a smartphone in the camera department, such a great picture, whereas with the, say, Nexus smartphone and some of the other phones, it's a little bit harder.
I would say, Robert, very easily, Google has full control over the hardware, where with the Nexus, it's made by whoever. I think HTC One's made them.
LG.
Samsung's made them. LG's made. I think the Nexus 5 is LG.
Mm-hmm.
So you're depending on the manufacturer's camera, where just like with some of the stuff with the Apple, on the Google Glass, that's all theirs. So that's their hardware.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but they still had to source it from someone. So I don't know what sensor they put into Google Glass camera itself, but whatever sensor it is, they might want to look at incorporating that sensor.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I said, just like Apple, they don't make it. Their warehouse, or not warehouse, their manufacturer, which is over in China, they make it. So I think the Google Glass is made the same Foxconn as the iPhone.
Yeah, but most of your phones incorporate a sensor from particular companies.
All right.
A lot of the smartphones actually use Sony sensors.
Mm-hmm.
So your Sony phones use a Sony sensor. Some of the other phones, I can't name all the manufacturers off the top of my head, but even their phones actually use Sony sensors in them as far as the camera goes. So there's something about the particular sensor in this one that is pretty good. And I'm just wondering, why they maybe haven't suggested to the OEMs to say, hey, take a look at this sensor and, what can you do that's better?
Are you saying give them a little subtle nudge? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it is impressive though for such a small form factor there. All right, so I want to take another look at some highlights. I know Robert had some comments on this one here. This is from Mr. Boris Beretsky over in Berlin. He's been sharing some really nice shots here recently. I want to say I published one on our website from him in the evening in Berlin. Looked great. Now, as he says in his comments, a view from high above down into Berlin Central Station, waiting on the train. All I saw was the escalator at first. I didn't even realize this was a dadgum train. Just the whole perspective and seeing how small this thing looks. Just how high up in the air is this guy? Right. Looks like a little toy to me. But I like just the simplicity and flat black and white. Maybe it's not black and white, but it's. I really like this shot a lot. Excuse me. What are your thoughts on it, Robert?
I gave it a vote because I liked the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it quite met the challenge as far as seeing something airborne itself, but it's a fantastic shot.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all the angles. It's actually more of a forced perspective shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things I noticed, I looked at it on my phone, and much like you, I didn't know that was a train at first. I saw the escalator, and I thought, okay, that's all wiring and stuff down there beside the escalator.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like the
Then when I looked at it on the
components.
computer, I was like, oh wow, that's actually a train. And I was like, but the escalator is, the train could fit on the escalator. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great forced perspective shot. If it was a forced perspective challenge, winner.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely, though, I like all the angles. I like the different geometric shapes that are incorporated.
So you don't think this is too busy?
It's a train station. I expect it to be busy.
Okay. Well said.
If there were people and stuff out there, it wouldn't bother me. It actually provides, the way it is right now, there's a lot of interesting points of interest to look at. You have the escalator with its lines, and then it kind of rounds off at the end. Then you have the train below with its lines, and it even has rounding lines in between the cars. And then the other interesting part of the shot to me is where those chairs are. That straight pole that's just going down there. I looked at that for a long time and was like, is that a fan? Or, no, those are actually chairs.
I thought it from this perspective, it looks like a floor flange. You know what I mean? Like in a toilet.
Right.
It didn't look like seats. It looks like these were flat against this surface here. You know.
You know, something that I'm thinking of that would have made this shot even more creative is if there had been somebody going up the escalator.
Uh-huh.
And then you have,
or maybe even sit, or maybe somebody sitting, maybe.
Well, no, I think going up the escalator, because then you have even more forced perspective, because you're like, okay, that person will be a giant compared to everything else.
Right. What about you, Mr. Bohr? What are your thoughts?
Sorry, my husband walked in the room. I was talking. He's undressing, by the way, so we'll keep him on that side of the camera.
That's more information than we needed.
He's going to the gym, so you know he's got to get his
Yeah, buddy.
on, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. I'm married, right? Anyway, so yeah, back to the what we talk about.
Let's go ahead and give her a nice ice cold beverage
The
first.
color blue.
Yeah, it's nice. That's a nice picture. I don't...
We're talking about the color blue.
Mhm.
Oh, blue. I like blue, but no.
For those that don't know.
Yeah, maybe I should pass. Okay, yeah, no, I like the photo. I pretty much agreed with what you said, that it didn't quite meet up with the in flight or airborne, unless there's some kind of like powdered substance on the train that's, you know, anthrax or something. I do like the blacks in the black and white picture. I know I always say I like the dark and the light. I like a lot of contrast in my black and white shots.
Yeah.
So that's nice. It has clear blacks and clear whites.
Has a much blurred definition.
Yeah, like the angles from the bottom right goes out. You know, that stuff. I look at that a lot. With, you know, sometimes you look at a photo, you don't like, well, what is it? You tend to look at the shapes and the angles, and for me at least, I do that a lot. I like to look at the negative space and what other shapes are being created, and I think the angles are really nice.
Well, Deborah, for those of us that haven't seen you in the hangout for a little while, tell the people that's watching a little bit about your background. You know, you're sitting here and you're talking about seeing shapes and negative space, and you know, not just your average person off the street's gonna come saying that kind of stuff about photography. So what's your background?
For me, I don't know, it's normal, but yeah. So I was an art major, and I did a lot of photography and did a lot of oil painting. But I like photography. It seems the simplest type of art to do without a lot of equipment. It's not messy. You don't have to worry about getting the paints out, lugging everything out, and you know you could take your camera everywhere you go. And
Not expensive.
yeah, I mean, you could take a sketchbook, you know, and do that kind of stuff too, which I do that as well. But I think, you know, capturing moments in time, or taking something that you feel and putting it into something that's two-dimensional is so different than any other art form, I guess. I don't know if I'm going too deep, but
No, it's all right. It's all right.
yeah. So I joined about more than a year ago. I joined the group because I needed an outlet for my art, and I felt like I wasn't being creative enough, and so I think the challenge has helped me to just push myself in different directions and not just stay on the same track as I always do, the same style of photography or art.
Mhm. What do you consider your style of photography to be? And yes, this has turned into let's interview Deborah
Oh
while
my
I'm
gosh, don't do
sitting.
that. I don't really know. It's hard to critique yourself, so that's why I like having the stuff out there so other people can tell me what they think
Mhm.
and I think it's fascinating, no matter what I mean when I take a photo or paint something, I love to hear what other people think and more behind it, and not just it's really pretty. No, but like what did she mean when she did this, and why that, and why this. I think it's really interesting. Um, so anyway, I don't know what you asked me just now.
I'm just asking. Oh my gosh.
No, but yeah, I don't like talking about myself, so.
That's all right. No, I appreciate your insight though. It just made more sense for people to know where you're coming from when you make your comments because we all know old Mike Sweeney comes in here and he'll give you praise on your shot, but boy, he'll rip you to shreds too. But it's all in good fun and it's all in a teaching manner,
Yeah.
and people can look at that and say, "Well, man, that dude's a jackass," but no, he's an artist,
Yeah.
so he's
Yeah.
bringing you a whole different perspective, and I look at you the same way. You'll go through and you will critique stuff and nitpick the smallest little things, but they will make a big difference in that shot. Not everybody
Yeah.
has that eye.
Yeah, I do like to. I feel like, so if I were, like I said, I like to have my stuff critiqued because I want to know what I can improve on and what other people see in the shot. It may not be what I wanted them to see, and so then I'll take that and go, okay, so next time I need to do something like that, this is what I need to adjust. Or maybe there
Exactly.
was something in the photo that like jumped out at someone, and it could be from their experiences.
Hmm.
I maybe not see that same thing because my experiences are different from the other person. So I think that's the great thing about art is that you really can make it anything you want when you look. The technique is just really the base. Once you know how to take a picture, you know how to frame, and learning, the thirds and all that stuff. All that's really, you kind of throw that out the window once you understand it, and
Hmm.
you just kind of have a feeling for when you take a picture where things should be placed.
Comes as sort of like a nature to you eventually.
Yeah, and like you asked me what you think my style is, and someone once told me that they saw my personality in my photos, which I thought was very interesting. But they said you must be a very upfront person, and you just tell it like it is. And I was like, how do you know that about me? And it's the style of photograph. Like I very much, here it is. I
I
throw
think
that thing
someone's
out
gonna fly on your wall.
there. So now I'm like, okay, now I got to figure out how to bring out the other parts of my personality by taking pictures in a different way. So anyway, something, food to think about.
No
Food for
doubt.
thought.
No doubt. Look at it, about two or three more here. There's one I wanted to highlight from Stephen Borden. Let's see if I can do this without recursion again. I did it right. Um,
Right, you didn't ask me about the picture.
I didn't. Hold on. Let's go back, bro. Let's go back. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, Mr. King.
Of course,
What
I
that?
didn't vote for it because it didn't meet the criteria. But
And
if
that's a fair assessment.
but as far, I have to agree with everybody what they said on this because if it was force perspective,
Mm-hmm.
it nailed it.
Yeah.
Other thing it nailed. If it was one on black and white,
Mm-hmm.
it nailed that because the contrast is just a gorgeous shot. It just didn't meet what the challenge was. That's the only thing. I didn't vote for it.
Hey guys,
Every,
we've talked about black and white before, and I want to say there was an argument about black and white meaning like two tones, black and white.
Mm,
What are your thoughts on that?
I I I think when we talked about that, we talked about taking something and taking the saturation out of it and making like gray tones
Okay.
versus a true black and white photo. And
Okay.
and if you ever
right.
have experienced black and white film photography, you would understand because that the rich blacks that you can get and the bright crisp whites and then the shades in between are it's nothing like when you take from film. I mean, it's the digital comes close, but I don't know. I feel like there's just nothing compared to that.
Purist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Certain things film just cannot touch or can't be beaten, and black and white is one of them. A pure black and white, as Deborah said, is that high contrast from your inky blacks to your bright whites.
All right.
and maybe it's because I've been in the dark room and developing my own photo, and then that process of doing that, and there's no computer generated anything that you can fix later. You got to do it all at that moment, and you got to fade in and all that stuff you got to do right there in the dark room, and the smell of the chemical. I don't know. You guys should all take a class, just one film class, just to kind of like have a better understanding of how, if you haven't done, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
how it is to work with film
Right.
and developing it and all that.
Sweet. All right. So I'm gonna switch off, and I want to go to this one here from Steve Borden. I gave him a vote just for being clever.
Same here. Same here.
Airborne, brother. That's what's up. Airborne, and you can tell he tried to show this airborne container as if it really was suspended in the air. It's like he tried to edit this out right there, But still, you get a +1 for that. And as our buddy Michael Porter says, well played, sir. Well played.
Yes. I have to say the same thing. It was just well done the way it was done.
All right, so we'll go to the top 2 vote getters here first.
And it's like the same person.
Yes, it is.
And it's the same winner.
The same dadgum person. All right, no, wait a minute.
He is so good. He is so good, though. That's why.
I thought there was one more. Maybe not. Okay. Because I thought Deborah had one that had like 5 or 6 votes. Didn't you, Deborah?
I don't think so. No one
I
likes
voted-
me.
I did. I voted for all of hers.
I don't have any votes on mine.
You should have gotten 1 or 2. I think I
Yeah,
voted for
let's
a
see
couple
there.
of yours.
Oh, look, I have 2 on that one.
Okay. Well,
I didn't have a lot of time. The shot I wanted, I just could not get, and I was like, ah. And then my daughter went in. I wanted her to dance and leap in the air, and she just would not.
She's not having it.
And I don't know why she wouldn't do it, but she just did not want it.
Dadgum kids.
I know, the hard heads.
Jeez. Exactly, the hard heads. All right, this one is from our man Timothy McCusker. I didn't really care for it too much, but I like what he was doing here. We got an airborne person, I presume. Looks like
Now,
one of
there's
these
also
kids.
a good one for motion blur.
Yeah. But still, all right, even with motion blur, I think that's a little much. That's just me. It almost looks like an accident. Again, the smartphone camera probably doesn't have the fastest shutter to capture that, just right. What do you guys think on it? Let's start with you, Robert.
Um, Panning.
Yeah.
If the child had jumped and he had panned with the jump, he probably would have caught it more in focus.
Right.
I didn't vote for it because the main subject that is airborne was so out of focus. It
Yes.
really was just a picture to me. It wasn't a shot.
Yeah.
So in that vein of things, I didn't vote for it because I couldn't tell. I know it's a person, a small person, a child, a midget.
Yeah.
Or
But
a
I really,
mannequin.
I really couldn't tell what the focal was. So because of that, I didn't vote for it. Good attempt, but I think maybe using panning, like Michael Sweeney has suggested before, when you're dealing with objects that are moving,
Mm-hmm.
pan with it and shoot the photo. Even using burst mode would have maybe given him the clearer shot of the focal point.
Right. I guess what burst mode is, it shoots so many shots
Oh,
within
he
a
did
second.
use fast burst.
He
Sorry.
did use it.
Yes, S4 using fast burst. So he did use a burst mode, but he probably needs to add panning into that so that it would stay focused more.
Right.
If there had been some blurring a little bit, understandable because of the movement, but it's just not enough focus for me.
Right. Mr. King.
I'm sorry, I was muting myself because my weather alerts on my phone went off with
Of
more
course.
flooding.
All good.
I have to, because just the same thing as Robert says. It's the idea was great. If he would have panned as well as taking those bursts, he would have had a nice get the actual subject in focus, and everything else can be out of focus,
Mm-hmm.
and he would have nailed it.
Another idea is if he had recorded it and pulled a shot from the recording.
I've done that.
That's true. You could have done that too.
Now, Mr. Bora.
Yeah. It looks like. Let me just read. Looks like they had some center focus going on because it looks like there's around the edges there's some blur and
Yep.
vignette even.
Yep. It's
I'm
sort
not-
of
He
dark.
may put it in the vignette mode.
So keen on that. I kind of like the color of the kind of color of the, but the color kind of for me doesn't the mood of the color doesn't match the mood of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't vote for it either, but I'm being nice tonight.
And again, I like the shot. Far as the creativity on it, it's just the blur there. And the first thing that I looked at, I said, I wonder what kind of laptop that is right there. That was the very first thing that I said.
And
That's
it
the
is
first
very
time
busy.
That's the first time I noticed the laptop.
The background's very busy, I would have to say. And a pet peeve of mine is when you have a shot of a subject as a person and there's stuff all behind their head. I don't know, it just really bothers me.
Yeah.
Because it's like things are growing out of its head, you know? The first thing I saw was the castle, though.
Oh, okay. All of the colors.
Like that's
No, I saw that, but I didn't pay attention to that laptop. I think it's a laptop. It might be
it's a
something
laptop.
else.
I struggle with technolust. I'm sorry.
And it looks like it also could be a tablet of some kind.
All right. Possibly. Either way, I wanted to know what it was. That was the first thing I looked at. All right. So let's look at his winning shot.
Wait, before you do that, pick Boris. Boris had 5 votes on his too. It was a recent entry, I think.
Boris
Bottom
did?
left.
That one? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I like this one.
Oh,
I actually
yeah.
voted for this one myself.
I voted for it too. I like that.
I wish it didn't have these suspension of strings here, but I know it had to have it. But man, that is the framing of this. I like this crop being sort of a tall crop, and the dramatic background here. It
Also, some
looks
of
like
those
it's in motion.
planes did have cables that went did actually have cables on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of them did have. I don't know if it's a DC-3. It probably looks like a DC-3.
Mm-hmm.
But some of those did actually have cables on that.
The only thing I would have taken in consideration here is sort of lining this up a little bit straighter. Maybe if I move it to another window, it'll look straighter to me. But as I'm looking
It
at it
looks okay to
now,
me.
it sort of looks a little
It's
off.
not too off.
Okay.
And also, it probably is. If it's on a pedestal or stuff like that, a lot of times they do intentionally angle them a little bit.
Right, to give it some motion as it's sitting there. I can dig that.
But I like that shot of that. I just love old aircraft. I'm not too much on the modern stuff.
Anything you guys would have done differently with this shot? Kept it in color?
I probably would have. I like the color. I like the black and white. Something that I'm learning more and more of, and actually, 500 Pix brought this up in an email that they sent to me. Not as a critique or anything, but just they send out general emails about how to get your photos selected more for their 500 Pix Prime.
Yeah.
Where they do commercial sales. One of the things that they always suggest is now that you do sets. So don't just take one picture, but create a set. Take 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures of the same thing from different angles, different positions. That way, as a photographer, you have more to choose from. And if you're offering them up for sale, say for instance, if somebody wanted to purchase this, and they know what model plane this is, but they're like, man, I wish he had the front side. Then perhaps he would have that
what I was
option.
hoping. I would love to see the nose shot of it, because I know it's a DC-3, but also it could be a C, whatever the cargo plane version of that was for the military, the transport.
So it's kind of like those, as we've said on other shots, where the person took, they submitted one angle. And we're kind of wishing, hey, could we get some more angles of this to see what it looks like in other ways as well?
Sounds like a challenge.
All right. Let me jump off here and go to our winner, McCusker.
Again.
Good gosh, man. But can't hate on him,
He is good.
Just hate the game, I guess.
I love that hot air balloon picture.
The first thing for me, I like the gradient of the sky. I wonder if he adjusted that. He says, I tried to edit without the grounds, but it didn't look right. Okay. So sometimes I've taken some shots of the sky or what have you, and I've attempted to try to get a decent gradient where going from dark to light or light to dark or what have you, because I just think it looks soft to the touch kind of thing, and usually when I try to do it I screw it up totally. So I'm assuming he got this straight out the camera. I don't know. Either way, I freaking love it, and that balloon just happens to be there that says hello.
Edited in Pixel Express.
Looks freaking good though.
And plus, I imagine early morning, you can have a area that's dark, dark blue, going to light as the sun's coming up, because they do launch these things early in the morning.
All right, makes sense. All about your timing.
Right.
What would I have done differently here? I don't know. I like the fact that he thought about trying to take out the buildings and stuff down there, but I got to agree with him. Even if he had taken these out, that still would have left that sitting there, and it might have looked a little weird. And then if he had cropped all the way up to here, it just would have been a blue field with a balloon on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Agree, disagree?
Yeah, I agree. I like the shot. It's just the way, everything kind of just gives it also more perspective of how high that thing really is.
Exactly.
And how far away he is from it.
Exactly. And that was with an S4, right? Yeah. For those that don't know, Mr. McCusker is now moved over to the iOS side, and I think he's gotten
Yes.
himself an iPhone 5. He's still trying to learn the ways of the iPhone, so to speak. Apparently,
If
his
he
wife
wanted
called
to
him out.
crop it, and the only thing I would have said, if he wanted to crop it, to
Hmm.
just get rid of a little distraction right along the bottom
Hmm.
edge where you have that dark area,
Right there. Okay.
crop
I
it straight
agree.
across the ground right below that road surface,
Yeah.
and take the crop straight across to cut that out.
Or even the right side.
I would have
And
gone.
just go straight down like that,
Look what
or.
look at the no look at the buildings on your left.
Hmm.
It goes go to the corner of the end of the building, go straight up. That's where I would have cropped it
Yeah.
from.
I like that little empty space though on the left. What bothers me are these electrical lines.
But you
Well,
can't
we
get rid
can't,
of those,
we
though.
can't get those taken out by the electrical company. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe they could take them down for a day or so, but they're not very fast.
they just might for Timothy, considering he keeps winning. Oh yeah, you're the guy that wins all the time. Okay, give us 10 minutes, sir.
Yeah. Well, also now depending on which way the balloon was going, if it was going north south, it's going away from him, so he had to get the shot when he did. If it was going east west, he could have probably waited for it to get more in the middle. That way, he could have cropped out those power lines. But I think he was just trying to get. I don't know which way the balloon's going. If it's going away from him, it was probably his last shot to get it before it got too far away.
Now we talked. Robert brought up a good point about different angles and stuff. I want to see what the town looks like.
Yeah, of course.
I want to have like close-ups. Make it very very abstract. I don't know if that's a parking garage or a building being built or what it is. But I'd like to get close up and see all that stuff as a separate image next to this.
Yeah, see that way it just looks like a blue field with a spot on it.
No, we're not doing Michael Porter's 16 by 9.
No, we will not do that.
But if you crop, I should say, if you crop the other side, it would have helped a little bit. But
I
yeah,
don't like that.
even there, it kind of taking some of those power lines out helps some, but it kind of also, I don't know.
I like that.
I like this a little better here.
I need a little bit of margin around that balloon though. I think
Right about there.
better. I like it there.
Do you know why you like it though?
Me, I'm thinking, what is that term? Negative space.
No.
Why do you? What is it then? I'm looking for.
Rule of thirds.
Rule of thirds.
Take your.
I guess so. There's the grid.
That balloon falls with that crop right there in particular. It most likely falls right on the crosshairs of a grid line.
Mm-hmm. I give you that, sir.
Now, if he's using the iPhone, you can put up a grid, and when you're taking your picture, you can you can put your picture on that grid.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can on the Samsung stock app and also on the a better camera allows you to do a grid as well.
It's quite helpful sometimes. Quite helpful.
And I forget, there's another app that actually lets you use what do they call that one? The golden something other, where it creates the spherical thing.
No, I ain't even heard of that.
It kind of blends in with the rule of thirds, but
The golden rule?
Yeah. Not about capturing, there's two ways of talking about the golden. There's the golden hour,
Mm-hmm.
and then the golden rule.
Wonder why your audio is spiking, Robert.
The golden rule has to do, again, if you've ever seen, like on the beach, you get that and it has that spherical shape to it.
Yep.
That has to do with the golden rule within your frame. And within that, your eyes are driven to a point.
Okay.
They use that a lot.
Okay.
There are some camera apps where you can pull that up instead of using the rule of thirds grid. Now, the golden hour is that hour of sunrise, sunset, where the sun is at the right point to get a very beautiful shot.
Okay, gotcha. So the golden rule and golden hour. Now, this shot here I'm sharing, it comes from just a post in the community from Neil Porter, and I figured we could go over it with him. He says, I'm not quite sure the best way to use this, so I experiment. What'd you say?
Fisheye lens.
Oh yeah, definitely fisheye. But what do you guys have as suggestions for him using a fisheye lens? You know, is there certain aspects of it? Is it all about getting something wider, something narrower?
Can you expand the photo details?
Sure. I hate this
Nexus
guy.
5, okay. Here's the rule on, as far as I can tell you, about Android phones and the fisheye lens and using them. I have one, I've used it. However, and Michael can chime in if this is the same with the iPhone or not. Shooting with the fisheye lens shooting a picture is different than shooting a video.
Okay.
Because a video will actually use more of your lens, so that if you are shooting with a fisheye, it actually fills it out, so that you only see the barrel effect of the whole picture.
Oh, okay.
Now, when you're shooting a picture using a fisheye lens, it focuses right down, and so what you wind up getting is the outer edges of the lens, of the adapted lens. So what you have to do sometimes is kind of zoom in a little bit so that you can take that away. Or either you wind up doing, some of the things that I've done with mine are do like crops. Like I've cropped a 16:9 like across the center there to kind of make a cool panel looking picture. But probably if you want the full fisheye effect for the whole thing, you'll have to shoot a video and then pull your picture from that.
Wow.
Yes, that's true.
And actually, in our tips and tricks, there's a video that I posted in there about using the fisheye adapter.
Nice. Now, Deborah, I want to say maybe it was you some time back that had a beef with some different lens attachments. Was that you?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the fisheye.
Why not? Anything? What don't you like?
Not kind of arbitrary. I don't know.
She doesn't like skateboarders.
Oh, that explains it.
Skateboarders.
Yes, because they use it all the time for filming.
Yeah. No, I've never really had a problem with it. It just depends on the presentation. Some of them look really good, and there's other ones that looks like just whatever.
He shot in HDR also, which when you're using a lens on top of your lens, you can see the ghosting of the table there. So he wasn't very steady. So one thing you have to be is very steady. And you can do some cool things with the fisheye lens. But once again, if you're using it on the camera just to take a picture, you kind of want to zoom in just a little to try to get as much of the fisheye as possible so that you get rid of the rest of the barrel.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
I might have a couple here. I gotta find them of some fisheyes that I did where.
And what I'll do is I'll try to mention your resources and share it with him as well. Let me turn my screen share off now, so I don't want to see that.
It should be in tips and tricks because I found a guy that he did a complete video about using fisheye lens and why it acted the way it did.
Gotcha.
So let me show you here.
We got a lot of stuff in our tips and tricks. Holy cow.
Moo.
A lot of stuff. While you digging for that, I'll let the other guys.
I got that one up now.
Okay.
I'm going to share. And this was taken with the fisheye.
Oh, yeah.
And what I did was I did the Michael Porter 16:9 crop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
to get rid of the top and the barrel effect. I had zoomed in just a little, but what I didn't use was this outside, basically to kind of frame it.
Okay.
But I like using the fisheye in this mode because it brought the dog kind of really close without being too close and waking him up.
And having a licked a licked phone.
He could hear the camera go click, and he doesn't like having his photo taken.
Of course not.
I just don't know why, but he's camera adverse.
All right.
And here's when I first got the fisheye.
How many clips did you get? Didn't you get a couple of attachments at one time?
Yes, I have a fisheye and I have a wide angle.
Okay.
Working on getting them.
I love that. Using the fisheye to take a picture of a fish.
Boy.
But as you can see, because I didn't zoom in, I got a lot of the fisheye barrel itself. So what I learned was, if you zoom in, you can get rid of some of this. But the thing you have to be careful with is further digital distortion, because of course we don't have optical lenses.
Right. So there's a fine line on your zoom.
Right.
Very interesting.
And there was one more that I did. I don't know if I have it. It should be in there somewhere. Where I did something that was kind of unique. I don't know if is it here. I know I posted it in the community once. It was basically, I took a picture of the sky while I was standing still, and it looked like a miniature world.
Oh, I remember that. That one got published.
I would have
that shot.
I would have to find it. I'm not sure where it's at right now.
Almost 2 years old. I can tell you that now. I remember that. It's almost 2 years old.
2 years old. Oh, well.
You were somewhere
There's
in
a lot of
the
places it could be.
Yeah. But no, I remember that shot. If I see it, I'll reshare it for you. Because I want to say I published that thing. It was quite nice. All right. Before we get out of here, we're going to allow you guys to share any shots and get some insight on it, or share your insight on it from when you took it. We can start with you, Mr. Bohr, if you have anything.
Okay. I took this one. I'm really impressed with the S5 camera.
Mm-hmm.
So let me.
A lot of people are.
Share.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
So that's the flower of a clover.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I mean it doesn't have a macro setting on the stock camera, but that's a pretty good,
Yeah. I can dig that. Considering how small those things really are.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, it's a nice picture.
Yeah, so that's it.
Now, me, I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with macro because I can't be still. But I got
Small tripod.
Yeah, and that's probably gonna have to be
Yeah,
what
that's
I
what
do.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. If you're gonna get micros or anything like that, you need to use a tripod.
Oh, Robert found a shot. There it is. I remember that one.
And I found my small world.
I love that. Excuse me. It looks just like a globe from space.
Yes,
Well done.
that's a nice shot.
And also, there was one that, this is something that the board challenged me on with numbers that I was taking. And what I found fisheye could be good for is, you want to do a macro shot and get really close in for some detail. Fisheye can be really, really good for that.
Dude,
Yeah, that's cool.
Way back. You went way back on those.
This was when I first started. Some of these when I first started this thing, got in this club or this group.
That's a lot of learning.
Wow.
Funny.
Mr. Bohr, you have another one?
Here's a fisheye.
Available laptops. Man, those things look like tanks.
They
Those
are.
laptops.
They're old HP.
Holy
Oh,
cow.
Pretty funny.
I
mm.
bet they weigh 15 pounds apiece.
That looks like those what's it called, the tough guys or toughies, whatever you call those things.
Oh yeah, I remember those. For the people
The
out in the
mili-
field,
and the
constructions and
military
stuff.
used them a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the last one. So this is another shot with my S5, and I've zoomed in so
Oh
close I can see
man.
the ant.
Wow.
Very good.
So cool.
And
I'm
this
just very impressed with it.
and
Now
this is
the
all
S5
stock.
has a 13 megapixel camera.
I think that's right.
And that's
Okay.
all stock, Deborah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
F number of 2.2.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Not too much. Not too little.
F-stop, yeah, and then that's an ISO of 40, which is really
40.
that gives you like some good detail.
Oh man. I think the lowest I've seen on any of mine has been like 100.
And that's usually the lowest. I'm surprised that there's even a 40 setting. But
Yeah, I'm starting to get worried though as more Android phones are going to the f-stop of 2
Mm-hmm.
because of they're trying to improve the low light picture taking, but what I'm also seeing is it could lead to a lot more blowout possibilities when you're in regular light or glowing platinum, adamantium, uranium
Yeah.
monkey bars.
Everybody turns out blue. Something like that. Mr. King, what do you have here? Mr. King.
Oops, sorry about that. I hit
There you
my clock was striking, so I muted myself.
are.
But no, Friday we have before all this rain started. Friday was a nice sunny day, so I just took a picture of this canna that has gone through hell and back. This had a wall fall on top of it.
Oh man.
Well, this is right across, right down the apartment right next to what burned. And when everything fell during the collapse,
Mm-hmm.
the wall fell on top of the cannons, and they finally. And then, of course, we've had our hellacious freeze that we normally don't have, so it's starting to come back. And I just took this is the first bloom of the year of the canna. I just took a picture of it.
I like it.
I'd like
Very
to see
well
more of
done.
the stem because cannas are known for being really tall, elegant.
What you're seeing is about half a foot off the ground. It
Jeez.
was, as I said, it was crushed. They were crushed when everything fell on top of it, and then of course the freeze killed it back all the way to they just got the weed eater and whacked them to all the way to the ground, and they just now are coming up, and they're about a foot tall, and they're starting to bloom. Yeah, normally they are good 5 foot or so, because I don't have to get on my knees to take a picture of it. I can just take a straight shot at it.
I might need those flowers genetics if they just taking a licking and keeping on ticking.
Well, they're noted for that, but and I'm really surprised they came back, because that fence, you can probably look at it, and that fence was a little bit it's really trashed out.
Mm.
As I said, it's
Not
just
lightweight.
yeah, and as I said, it's the corner that's the corner apartment right across from Building 7 that went up.
Nice. All right. Well, before we go, I will share one of my recent shots here. I took some over the holiday weekend, and let's go to one for discussion, basing it on focal point. Let's see, screen share. There we go. All right, this is a tree near Chateau Ghetto, and when I took this shot, I found that if I put focus down here, I lost the detail, of the limbs and leaves and so forth and the rest of the trunk. So I sort of put the focus right along here, and I think it turned out a little bit better because I could still see the individual leaves there. Granted, the sunshine is sort of blowing things out a little bit right here, but I think it ended up being like a happy median. Now, as you can see here, Mr. Knight has a different preference. Um, Robert, you rather focus right up front. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. You rather focus right up front here.
Right.
Now, I took some more shots while I was out after you and I talked about that. Let's see how fast I can get to photos. Photos.
Get on a Mac.
Hopefully there's nothing here X-rated. Okay, good.
Now we know about you.
All right, so this was another one out there.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, I like that.
And I wanted to show the perspective. Thank you. The perspective of focus. And as you can tell, this is blurred out a little more because I put the focus pretty much right along in here. And I took the exact same shot. I looked out and kept myself steady on it. Took the exact same shot and put the focus here. Me, I like the first one better. I don't.
The first one is better.
I like this one better.
You like this one better?
Oh, no. I mean, I like this. No, I like that first one better.
Okay.
First
You
one's
see
better.
how it blurred out and you lose the lake back there and
Right.
you know. But that was just the argument that I was wanting to try to bring up is, maybe you have to have some type of happy medium there.
Right. And then the other problem, the reason you're getting that blowout is something I was just talking about is your f-stop.
Mm-hmm.
Your f-stop is 2. So that means in that background, because of you're getting all that light that's reflecting off the water. So when you're focusing in close, it's just going to blur it out.
Well, this is another one. I actually got on the ground, Mike Sweeney. Nan. I got on the ground, and this is a stump that's been beaten to crap, and put the phone right on top of it and focused right here. And I think it turned out all right with the tree and whatnot. I like it.
I would have cropped this hard.
Where about?
Very hard.
Where about? Let's hear it.
You wouldn't have seen anything else but that rock formation.
Really? So you
Yeah.
don't want none of
I
that?
don't like the background in it either.
None? So all you guys are wanting is just the...
Where that pole is, come to the inside of it.
That's better.
There,
you guys.
and then I would have tested
It's like you guys
the
are
crop.
crazy. Oh, now I see.
Then I would have tested a crop right across where the green has that little dip at the bottom of that.
Okay. So
You would have been left with basically a square of that rock formation. Keep coming down right there.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't mind the first crop. I liked the angle that it brought.
Right. Last I would have tested this one, but definitely I would have gone with the other one for sure.
So there. Like that.
I mean, maybe just a little tiny to make it a little bit more square, maybe a little bit off the bottom, a little bit off the top. But I like the flow of the rocks from
Yeah.
That ain't rock. That's a stump.
a tree. All right.
Well, we don't know. We don't have to know what it is. It can be a rock today.
Nice.
But that formation, giving it there, it really gives your eye something to really focus on.
Mhm.
Whereas with everything else, it's distracting to me.
Right. Sweet. Well, thank you, folks. Appreciate that. Now, well, hey, why not? Let me just do this on the fly. Heck, it's not hurting anything. We'll go back to screen share. Let's go ahead.
Tweet.
Start. Let's go ahead and crop it. Oh, why did the straighten go haywire?
Why is your photo thing crooked?
Why did it do
Okay.
that? So we'll go.
It's on the right now. It's on the right now.
crop,
Yeah.
Dude.
rotate. Why is it saying rotate?
Did you take a crooked photo and make it straight?
Knowing that, he did.
I did.
There's
I did.
secret is out.
I remember now. I did, because it's right over here. Because I wanted to straighten the tree. There it is. Yep, I remember that.
Okay, so let's just use this one. This one. 'Cause it's bigger. You can have more room to play.
So we want to go here.
There you go.
Ooh, no, too much.
Too much. Go back.
Up, 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 up.
Keep going.
Okay, right there. Whoops.
Come down just a little
Where
bit.
that angle is? Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And then don't bring the bottom up.
Oh, and bring the bottom up some.
A little bit. Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Done.
Stop.
There you go.
Well, damn, that does look
Yes. I like that.
Dun, dun, dun!
good. Damn, that does look good.
Photo G's to the rescue!
Well, freaking done, y'all. That's what's up.
Now I would take the saturation just up a little bit.
Okay. Why not?
Since
Yeah,
we're
get
playing
your contrast up to get that depth into those
Yep.
crevices.
crevices.
Where'd the editor go?
I don't know.
It's when you have to push the little button that says edit at the top.
Yeah, he got to get his picture back again.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Such a smart ass. But that's okay.
Ooh.
Well, it's better than being a dumbass.
so good point.
See?
Take your saturation back first. No, take it back to 0. Adjust your contrast first. There you go.
Right there.
There we go.
Pretty.
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Holy cow.
Moo.
You know, shut up, King.
What is that about? What's the cow for? Am I missing something?
I said holy cow, and he said no.
I
You know, that turned out all right. You guys might know what y'all talking about in this community, huh?
Post-processing. Never be scared.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Well, that's a good
That's
story.
what digital photography is all about, really.
For real. We can play around with it. All right. Let's give you guys an opportunity to sign off and let everyone know where we can find you on the wonderful world of the internets. We'll start with the
Wait, there's
lady.
more than one? Oh my gosh!
Don't you hate on my gibberish, Miss Deborah? Where can we find you on these internets?
I'm in the alternate universe.
You still doing artsy fartsy?
I haven't put much stuff out there, so I mean G Plus I'm on. Just find me there. That's good enough.
All right, Miss Shyness. What about you, Mr. King? Thank you, Deborah.
Thanks.
I can be found on anywhere at Michael King 423. It doesn't matter where it is. I'm there.
4023. Are you on Orchid?
Not yet. That's the only one.
Nice. Appreciate you coming out as always, bro.
Yeah, anytime. Especially since there's nowhere to go since we without using a boat. In fact, that's the problem. That's what thing is. The back of a subdivision is going underwater.
You're gonna have to take some nautical photography for us. That's your turn.
You'll see it.
Thank you again. Lastly, Mr. Robert Knight.
I'm going to leave you with where to find me and also a tip. I'm going to have to move my camera for this.
Okay, go ahead.
For those of you that, if you're noticing your phone does not keep the same charge that it used to, and your phone has a removable battery, take your battery out, lay it on a flat surface.
Mm-hmm. I know where he's going with this.
If it does that on one side, great.
We lost it. Can't see it. There we go.
If it does like that on one side, that's pretty good. However, if it does that on the other side,
there we go.
From the battery.
You
You'd
got
have
a
suffered from
swollen
battery flow.
cell. Mm-hmm. You got a swollen cell. I found that out a couple years ago with my Droid X, and it was amazing the difference. I didn't pay it much attention, but then the day that I bought a new battery, my cover didn't fit on the phone. So I knew something was up. And he said, "Oh yeah, this
So,
happens all the time with those."
and why is this important for us? Well, when we're off and out, we're taking pictures, and if you leave home with 100% battery, you don't have a spare, you don't carry extra battery with you, and suddenly you find yourself, you've got 30% battery, and you're not finished out on your trip that day. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
So that's one way if you have a removable battery to check your battery. Now, if your phone is sealed, you're
that's
probably
another
going to get a
story.
replacement phone,
That's another
unless you're willing to
story.
pry it open.
All right, a la
But
Sweeney.
I keep a
or
Mophie
talk
on
like
mine.
you, he could probably help
I,
you.
Yeah,
I use the Juice Pack Air on mine, and I have a full day and a half of battery.
yeah, those are good.
Where you can find me at, you can find me on Google Plus, Robert Knight Tech. However, if you do follow me, much like getting into our community, I will vet you before I follow you back. You can stalk me all you want, don't
Yeah.
care, but I won't stalk you unless you're interesting. And you can also find me on 500 Pix, Robert_Knight /500pix.com. That's where you'll find my best work. Also have stuff for sale there too as well, and I participate in the 500 Pix Prime program.
Yep. There's some pretty shots out there. Look him up and go check out Planking on there. Beautiful shot. Thank you again, Mr. Knight, for coming out.
Anytime. And one final announcement,
Yeah.
just in case everybody didn't see the last weekend show. Weekend shows are on hiatus until August.
Till August. Okay.
So, and we'll be coming back with the more so how to show you what to do show. Kind of like what you just did there with the edit. We'll be doing
Yeah.
one of that using a couple of tools.
Okay. So we'll get a lot of different perspectives there. Sweet. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. All right. Lastly, myself. I am Ant Pruitt. You can find me here, of course, on Google Plus under Ant Pruitt. But I also play around on Twitter. I have a lot of friends over there that I love dearly, and they don't quite get Google Plus, and that's okay. But I'm on Twitter under the handle of I Have No Life. Check the spelling there. Or you can find me on antpruitt.com or a new domain.com and yet another techshow.com. I just sort of bounce around here and there. Be sure to check out our smartphone photographers website at smartphone-photographers.com. I'm trying to post regularly on there. We have a couple people that have permissions to post there, but no one else is posting there. But that's okay. I'll keep trying to throw some content out there to share with the public and the community. If you're interested, just give me a shout. I will do a background check on you, or if you see us out there in the search list for communities, you can request an invite, but let it be known that our moderators, we do a little background check to make sure you're going to be a good fit for our community. It's semi-private. We don't do spamming in here. We don't do looky-loos, and I'm getting really good at kicking people out every Sunday, to try to keep our community vibrant and fresh kind of thing. We want to learn. We have people like Deborah in there that's going to tell you, do this and we'll make it look better. You know what I mean?
I'm like that.
No, Deborah, it's helpful. I'm serious. I appreciate it. I mean, just like the shot that we just edited there, stuff like that. I find a lot of value in that, and I just don't want a bunch of nosy people in here goofing off. I'd rather it be some people that's wanting to learn and be able to pass that knowledge on to others. So look us up, Smartphone Photographers Community, hosted by Ant Pruitt, because I think there's 4 or 5 in there, but look for hosted by Ant Pruitt. Ding.
Yeah, don't go to those other ones where they have 1,000
Yeah.
million people. They're
You
just
won't-
ridiculous.
Yeah, you won't get anything out of those other than just a bunch of shots. That's it. All right, so we will see you guys next week about the same time on Thursday at about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We were a little late today. Actually, that was pretty damn good. I think it was 9 or 8 when we kicked off, so that's good job, Aunt Pruitt. Good job.
No comment.
Yeah, you shut it. Thank you all for watching. We've had viewers tonight watching the live feed. Really appreciate that. And we'll see you all next week. Thanks again. Peace.